Use poetry in my presentation. That way you don't have to choose between education and entertainment. Voila, edutainment. That's me. Right. Today I'm going to share with you two pieces from my poetry collection of over 150 poems, and hope you'll want to hear more and bring me to your campus. The first piece that I'm going to share with you is how I became the Rogue Scholar, and the second piece is on evolution and consequence of living in rape culture. Passion for truth, obstructed since youth with voices not my own, void of value, antithetical to help, perverse to the human spirit, that spoke only to the fear that it created in me by pressing down my body while taking hostage my mind. Elders pray over me to negotiate my release, but forgiveness of my debtors seemed only to suffocate me and exacerbate self-hate, giving birth to inner demons that I was forced to disguise, retarded on the inside but appearing externally wise. I clung to books instead of people, traded religion for research, searched for truth instead of God, and aspired to peace instead of profit. Scholarship became my savior. Academics guided my behavior. Theories and theorems, postulates and procedures, analysis and hypothesis, objectively verifying my perfection while rejecting all negative perception. I became an unorthodox disciple, disciplined in thinking, baptized in the Ivy Tower, ordained by clergy scholar, PhD confirmed and publication approved, but I refused the communion cup because scholastic indoctrination wasn't enough to bring me back to my truest self. Wrought with Eurocentric male worldviews, I could not find myself because I kept hearing footsteps in the dark, from the first Sunday school class to the dissertation defense. What was reflected to me didn't make complete sense. So I kept searching, as sure as Christians keep churching, until I found the Holy Grail, an open mic that taught me to speak, not in a pulpit stingy with truth, but on a stage where I could become the truth, interrupt the status quo, nullify the norm, reject the hypothesis of inferiority, and resurrect myself to sainthood. I quenched my soul on fire as I became the Rogue Scholar with peer-reviewed sonnets of truth untold to accredit my flow as the distribution of knowledge became the checks and balance of power without security of tenure. So I risk it all to knock down a few walls and see how far truth will take me. This Rogue Scholar is no longer guided by fear, so I ask the questions others don't dare, because inquiry is the righteous path to truth. And ministry of poetry took me back to my youth, to humble myself to the God of words, to bring to life what awaits to be heard without permission from the Ivy Tower or blessings from the pulpit, because I am the Rogue Scholar, credentialed to not give a bit.
Yeah.
Mother Eve, I am so sorry for your pain. I wish I could go back in time and relieve you of your shame. Instead, coerced sex has evolved into a universal epidemic of sexual abuse that causes more pain in this world than we should ever excuse. 90% of violators are men or boys that see women and girls as crackerjack toys, just female body parts instead of a whole person. Objectified physical forms whose mouths are cursed with silent cries of molestation and rape, sometimes in a home, sometimes out on a date, but almost always at the hands of a man, as if the sight of a female is something they can't stand, or is the fear of rejection, the adrenaline injection that causes the erection of aggression to seek emotional power over the physically weak. Don't be fooled, it is not sex that the violator seeks. No, this is natural selection gone awry. There's trace in the gene pool that was supposed to die. There's poison in the gene pool where the strong should not survive. Where men use their strength to destroy, not just to stay alive. Xenophobic and ego-driven indulgence in behaviors that God had forbidden, creating a curse that seems impossible to reverse. So instead of consent, we evolved with malintent. Instead of cooperation, we evolve with condemnation. Instead of solidarity, we evolve with disparity. Men to be rulers and women to be ruled. All this time we played Mother Nature for a fool as we dissolved so that men could barter away their daughters without their choosing, after going to great lengths to make sure she was a virgin. Now ain't that amusing? As we count the men who lose their lives during war, but never the women who are raped. No, this casualty of war is always just part of the male dominance landscape where evolution took one more rung back down the ladder and hope for humanity got sadder and sadder until we lived with statistics and accepted as the norm the violation of females by men's patterns of harm. Early man normalized sexual violation, even highlighted mythical gods' participation like Leda being raped by Zeus, even excusing it by claiming rape is prompted by evolutionary need to reproduce. No wonder 1 in 3 females experience attempt or completion of sexual assault. Most don't ever tell because the world keeps saying it's her fault. No relationship with a man is seemingly safe, not since the Garden of Eden where Adam determined our fate. Today we codify language like forced consent, and ignore the fact that female choice is nature's intent. Instead, females evolve with so little agency over her own skin, designed for sexual pleasure, yet chance of orgasm thin, because she has been introduced as the taken and the male the taker. But this is not how the sexual experience was designed by our maker. Being taken kills the female spirit like an overdose of pills, leaving her sexually frozen from being unwillingly chosen as the dominant male plows and thrusts as if the body is just there for the taking. Instead of harmonizing souls into a symphony of lovemaking, we must stop the use of the penis as a tool of destruction with truths that confront this evolutionary system of female reduction. This truth may blind you like looking directly at the sun, but that's better than the world that's deaf and dumb. Hashtag me too. My name is Rosina Bakari. I would love to spend some time with you, booth 52, talking about how we can have purposeful programming on your campus. And I can tell you a little bit more about what I do. Stop by and see me. Thank you very much.
Rosina Bakari. Amazing, amazing work, amazing work.